Buy with confidence. It's the Triple J Advantage. 1 year maintenance, 1 year tire and rim protection, key replacement, and $700 coupon book with every new vehicle purchase. Only at Triple J. Customers first.
Half a day, we are here at Triple J, and on this episode of Cruising, we are heading to the heart of Hagåtña to interview Chita Blaise, Executive Officer of the American Red Cross, to talk all things Red Bull. This is a Honda Sport Accord. It is so nice, and it is red, which is perfect for Miss Chita Blaise, who is joining us on this episode of
so
Cruising,
special
because we are talking about the Red Ball.
Correct.
So let's get cruising.
The Red Ball, and it's coming up pretty soon.
Very soon. Miss Chita, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Cruising, and I know you are the Chief Executive Officer here at American Red Cross, which,
yes,
if you can't see, it's right behind us. And so maybe tell us more about, you said you've been here for a long time.
Yeah, well, I have been with the American Red Cross for 18 years, and I have been in Guam for more than 30.
Wow.
We came here on a 2-year contract with the university. My husband was a professor at the university. We came from New York before coming to Guam. And I lost my husband 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh,
so,
my.
Well, we're still here. I'm still here.
Wow.
You know, for a 2-year contract, we decided that this is the place for us.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because my husband was sick. And in hindsight, when I think about it, if that had happened in New York, I mean, you don't make friends in New York the way you make friends here.
Right.
I mean, here your friends become your family, and there's just me and my husband. So now I'm alone. I mean, I don't have any children, so my friends have become my family, and I'm, really, really close friends.
Very cool.
Yes.
And that's one of the biggest things, one of my biggest questions for Miss Chita, who is really quite fabulous, was the idea of community. I know Guam is a small place, and so the American Red Cross, what is kind of your role in this small
or how did I get
community?
into it?
Yeah.
Right? So, well, it is very interesting. I always say that my life has come full circle, because I was working for the Ford Foundation in the Philippines, and that Ford Foundation is also a non-profit organization.
Oh, wow.
Except that we were giving grants, we were giving away money. But this time, I am asking for money. So, but anyway, and so when I got married, I joined my husband in New York. And so then the Ford Foundation found out that I was there, and so they invited me to work for them again.
Wow.
So, and I have been so blessed to have worked with really fabulous people. My boss in New York was the bureau chief of Newsweek magazine in
Wow.
Paris. And
that's a huge title.
Yeah, it is. And really, I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot from my husband. I learned a lot from my boss. And then when we came to Guam 37 years ago, to be exact, I worked all over the place because we were new on island. We didn't know anybody, so I worked out of like a temp agency. It's called the Beehive.
Oh, wow.
Like in New York, the Kelly Girl.
Yeah.
Like you go there and they assign you wherever.
That's true.
So that's what I did. I worked at Scroll, I worked at IBM, so kind of like get my foot in the door. And then Judy Gothards became the director of public safety. You know, it was called the public safety then. And so then she hired me as her executive secretary. And then I was with her for about a year or so. And then Judge Abadi, who was the presiding judge at the time, was looking for an executive secretary. So a friend of mine said, "Hey, you want to work for Judge Abadi?" But you know, Judge Abadi has his reputation is like, "Don't work for him. He's scary," you know.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, like it's like he had this reputation of being a tyrant of a boss. And so I thought like, hey, what I have got to lose, right?
Right.
I'll go for it. So I did. I interviewed, and he said to me, "Okay, you can start on Monday." I said, just like that? Yeah,
Wow.
just like that. And so that's my story. And I worked at the court. I was the executive secretary for the presiding judge. I was secretary to the Board of Law Examiners. I was secretary to the Judicial Council. And I was the bar administrator.
So you know a lot about law.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm a they call it a jailhouse lawyer.
Nice.
So then I was the one administering the bar examination for many years, and that was a very tedious one. But I enjoyed it. I learned a lot from Judge Abadi. I learned a lot of legalese as a result of that. And then he retired, and I served at the pleasure of the presiding judge, and it was an unclassified position.
Oh wow.
And I was also the first public information officer of the court.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So you have a very extensive resume.
Yeah.
Miss Chita.
And he retired, and so then I decided I was going to open my own business. So I had a boutique for 8 years.
Wow.
I carried a brand, exclusive brand.
Dresses?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And then I also had an antique shop. So it was a combination boutique and antique shop. It was called the Treasure Trove.
Oh, very
So
nice.
I had that for 8 years. And then Liberty House came. And so I thought, well, I cannot compete with this giant. So if I can't lick them, I'll join them. So so the CEO of Liberty House came to visit me at my shop one day, and I thought, you know, there was like a couple of men coming to my shop, and I thought like, oh, they must be shopping for the wife, right?
Right.
And so then it turned out that it was the CEO of Liberty House.
Oh my
They invited me
goodness.
to work for them.
Oh wow.
So I closed shop, and I joined them as I was the first personal shopper in Guam, and also their marketing manager.
Wow. And all of that led you here to the American Red Cross.
Yeah. So then the position of CEO was vacant, and my husband was the chairman of the board of the Red Cross. And my husband said, "Hey, Ahita," he called me Ahita, little girl. Yeah. He said, "You want to work for the Red Cross?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Because we don't have any money." Oh. I thought like, oh, that's not a good reason to want to work for an organization that didn't have any money.
Not the first thing you think of.
Yeah, that's right. You would think that that's the organization you'd run away from.
Right.
But anyway, I did, and they didn't have any money. They were almost closing their doors,
Oh
and
man.
we couldn't even afford to pay our vendor that supplied us with materials for our first aid and CPR training. You know, so. But then again, also we did not have anything in place. It was kind of like, oh, let's try this fundraising and see if it works for us.
Right.
It was kind of like nothing really a plan.
Right.
So anyway, but that was a long time ago. When I think back now, I thought like, geez, we have come a long way. You know, we have come a long way where we have our fundraising activities in place. And really, I mean, moving forward, whoever is going to, come after me, all they need to do is to follow that format, and they're good.
Buy with confidence. It's the Triple J Advantage. 1 year maintenance, 1 year tire and rim protection, key replacement, and $700 coupon book with every new vehicle purchase. Only at Triple J. Customers first. Buy with confidence. It's the Triple J Advantage. 1 year maintenance, 1 year tire and rim protection, key replacement, and $700 coupon book with every new vehicle purchase. Only at Triple J. Customers first.
So you really kind of set the standard for what the American Red Cross does, and this is perhaps your signature event. The Red Ball.
It is our signature event.
And how long? I mean, how many years
18
have you been doing this? 18 years.
You know, we started small,
Wow.
and my first chair was Marie Calvo's dad,
Huh?
Champ. So that's why there is sense of history and legacy. Marie doing it because her dad chaired it for 2 Red Balls, the first and second Red Balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, but you know, it has grown, Carmen. I mean, it has grown
Really?
so much. Yes.
Tell me more, because just a small caveat, this would be my very first Red Ball. I have never been. I've only seen it in photos, which I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever seen the photos. They're so glamorous.
Isn't
Everyone's wearing these absolutely beautiful gowns that isn't quite something you see often here on
Yeah,
Guam.
but it
And
has
so,
evolved to be the social event of the year.
Mhm.
You know, like a lot of people now look forward to it because it's the Red Ball. It's a place to be. You know,
right.
and they worry about what they're gonna wear long before the Red Ball event comes around.
I know,
to me,
Crystal.
that is so. To me, that's like that's so heartwarming. It's like everybody's
Right.
excited about the Red Ball. You know,
That is something that people can look forward to every
That's
year.
Right. That's right.
And when it comes to the Red Ball, so tell us more. Where is it this particular year?
Well, for the last 2 years, it has been at Dusit. Because
Wow.
Dusit is the only hotel that can accommodate as many as, okay, this is the finite number, 840.
Wow.
So it used to be at Pacific Islands Club many, many years. And at there, it's not a ballroom, but we turn it into a ballroom. And
Right.
it is amazing how we could transform that tennis court into a whatever we want it to be, whatever the theme was. And it was just wonderful. But it took a lot of work to be able to create something and to have that ambiance that you want to achieve.
Very true.
So,
very, very, very true.
but nevertheless, we were grateful that we had a venue. And so last year we said, okay, we'll move it to Dusit and let's try. You know, at the Pacific Islands Club, we had as many as 1,000.
Wow.
But here it's 840.
Very cool.
Yes.
And so tell us more about the night. I mean, how does it go down? Again, as I said, I know they wear very beautiful dresses.
Because it's like a lot of glitz and glam.
Mhm.
So we said, okay, then it makes sense that we should have a red carpet portion of the Red Ball.
Right.
Well, everybody as they come in, you know, a lot of paparazzi to give it a lot of excitement, and that has come of it has become like an integral part of the Red Ball. And then of course we always have a very delicious 5-course meal. It's a plated
Ooh.
service
I
because
love
you don't want to
food.
be wearing your tops and then you're gonna be, you know, yeah, it is a plated service. It's a must.
Wow.
Yes,
love
and a
food.
lot of people enjoy that. I mean,
Mhm.
it's nice to be just casual and have a buffet, but when you're all dolled up there up to the nines, then you want to just sit down and look pretty and be served.
Right.
And that's what the Red Ball is all about.
It's all about. I
Not to
like
mention that, you know, we also have entertainment. There was a time when we used to bring in entertainments from off island.
Oh.
Like we had the last off island entertainers that we had was the Cool and the Gang.
Oh, very
Yes.
cool.
But we could only afford that then because we had a co-sponsor that took care of half of the expense of
Mhm.
having an entertainer. But then at the same time, we also realize that, you know, we really don't have to import any off-island entertainers because we do have a lot of talents here in Guam.
That is very true. I think the local talent community is growing.
Yes.
It's thriving. I mean,
Yes.
you could even say that our local talent is just as good
Yes.
as those performers stateside.
Absolutely. And so that's what we have done for the last 4 years, I think. And what they do is, well, I work with some of the talents like, what's his name? Greg Sablan. And he puts together members of different bands, and then he invites them to play and be a group, especially for the Red Ball. You know, so it's kind of like a fresh group,
Right.
because they've never played as a group. And then for the Red Ball, you know, he
I like that.
yeah, he organizes this band. So this year we're gonna have two. We're gonna have Crystal and her group, and then we have the other one. We have the Rumblefish.
Nice. And if you've never heard Crystal Paco sing, I think you're really missing out.
I have. She can belt it out.
She's
I was so surprised though. I didn't realize that she was a performer.
Buy with confidence is the Triple J Advantage. 1 year maintenance, 1 year tire and rim protection, key replacement, and $700 coupon book with every new vehicle purchase. Only at Triple J, customers first. Buy with confidence is the Triple J Advantage. 1 year maintenance, 1 year tire and rim protection, key replacement, and $700 coupon book with every new vehicle purchase. Only at Triple J, customers first.
Now, our theme for this year's Red Ball is Archangels, ARC.
Correct.
Tell me more about that. I love the idea of
Yes.
this like heaven. And I know that the volunteers are angels in disguise at American Red Cross.
They
what can you say?
They
So
are.
tell
I
us-
agree with you.
Right?
And, yes.
So tell us more about that theme and how it came to be.
Well, you know, it was just so incredible. So Marie, who is chair of my Red Ball, I'm really so grateful though. I mean, it's like, you know, accepting a challenge to chair a Red Ball is
Right. I don't think
not
that's
an easy
easy.
thing.
I don't think
okay?
so.
I mean, it's like, but I have to tell you that my board and the members of my team Red Ball, I mean, they are also hands-on, and they have been doing this for so long that they could. It's like, I'm not gonna say it's on autopilot, but they know it. We got everything down pat, and the machine is well oiled. I mean, each member of the team and each member of the board have their own list of companies that they should be following up on. So it's not like, oh, who's gonna follow up on this? No. They have that. They have that down pat. They know which
Right.
companies are assigned to them. So
Nice. So
my-
tell us more about
and so then, okay, going back to the to the theme.
Archangels.
Yes, Archangels. And so the acronym for Red Cross, ARC, and Marie just like that. So like, oh, she said, oh, and then also like a spin-off from the recently concluded Met Gala.
That's very
Just
true.
like with the heavenly bodies and so on
Right.
and so forth. And so that's how, I guess that's how she concocted that, and she came up with it. It's like, what about we called it Archangels? I mean, that is just so appropriate for the kind of things that our volunteers do for the organization, because they donate their time. And you know, it is not easy, because these people who are volunteers of the Red Cross, whenever there is a disaster, I mean, these people also have disasters in their own homes,
Right.
but you will find them at the Red Cross. You know, the moment we are advised that it's safe to go out there, our volunteers are out there first on the scene conducting their damage assessment. So that's how the Red Cross is able to fulfill its mission.
Honestly, the American Red Cross, I think you guys do good work. And if you could just tell us more about why do you personally believe in the mission of the American Red Cross?
Well, if I didn't, I wouldn't have accepted that job, okay? But then, of course, in the beginning, okay, the mission, okay, it's American Red Cross, and everybody knows what the Red Cross does.
It's true.
But with the time I spent with the American Red Cross, I think I have become so emboldened. I have become so passionate about it. Because if you're not passionate, you're not going to do a good job. That's the way I feel, right? But really, our mission is just so inspiring, because you know that these people who are affected by disasters are expecting the American Red Cross to come through. The first question they ask whenever there is a disaster is, what's the Red Cross doing?
Right.
Or when they see us there with our volunteers wearing the vest,
Right.
that brings them hope. They feel good. They feel, oh, everything is going to be fine now because the Red Cross is here.
That's very true.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's very true. I mean, I've only been on this job for a while, and every single time we've covered storms, we've covered disasters.
Yes.
Even if it's not a storm, even if it's just one person who needs help, we always call the American Red Cross.
Always. We have not had we have had a tropical storm, and we have had some flash flooding, because we have had a lot of rains lately. And so just out of that flash flooding, for instance, last week, so we serviced about 7 families.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, it is. And our form of assistance has also evolved. There was a time when after a disaster, we give them a voucher, and then they go and buy the food and their clothing and whatever. And by the way, very important, we do not provide our victims with used clothing.
Wow.
No, because for the American Red Cross, that part of the healing process when you are down after a disaster, that going out and choosing your clothes or whatever, that's all part of the healing process. Well, how would you feel if, like, you lost all your clothes and you're gonna wear used clothing? That's kind of like dampens your spirit.
Right. And I think, just like you said, I mean, that is that hope.
That's right.
And the
you
ability
have to uplift the spirit when they're down.
Right.
You know? So giving them used things is not exactly uplifting.
Right. Which is why I know you are so gracious, and it's so important to have those donors and those people who also believe in the mission of the American Red Cross to give back.
Yes. You know, I have a 15-member board, and most of them are president and CEOs of the big companies here, like Bank of Hawaii, Mobil Oil. Some of them, see, because you're supposed to serve like a 2-year term. Some of them have stepped down and come back, because you have to step down. You have to stop being a board member after 6 years, and then you can come back again. So most of them have come back. So what does that tell you? So that they believe in what we do.
Right, definitely.
And it makes them so proud to read in the newspaper or see in the news that, you know, the Red Cross is out there providing services to the community, critical services that the community expects whenever we have a disaster. So it makes my board members proud, and they know where the money is going.
Buy with confidence. It's the Triple J Advantage. 1-year maintenance, 1-year tire and rim protection, key replacement, and $700 coupon book with every new vehicle purchase. Only at Triple J. Customers first. Buy with confidence. It's the Triple J Advantage. 1-year maintenance, 1-year tire and rim protection, key replacement, and $700 coupon book with every new vehicle purchase. Only at Triple J. Customers first.
And finally, as we're kind of winding down things on this very sporty and fancy episode of Cruising with our car, this is a Honda Accord Sport. I'm telling you,
I know,
it is
I can
incredible.
tell. It's so fancy.
And it's also red. So again, the Red Ball. When exactly are those dates?
Okay, the Red Ball is going to be on Saturday, September 22nd at the Dusitani. from 6 p.m. through midnight. And
Wow.
expect, as always, a lot of fabulous things to happen. Like, we always have those fabulous prizes that we raffle off during the evening.
Most
you know.
definitely.
Yes, and of course we have wine with your dinner, and we also have welcome cocktails. So it's a night of really of glamour and fine dining and good camaraderie, but most importantly, it's for a good cause.
Right.
You know, that is the important thing about the Red Ball. It's not just dressing up and, you know, having a good meal, but it is to support American Red Cross, to enable the American Red Cross to remain vibrant in the community
Definitely. And I
for
think,
the next 100 years.
right, I was gonna say 100 years of good and 100 years of the American Red Cross. We are just pulling in right here at their headquarters here in Hagåtña. So again, if people wanted to volunteer, I'm sure Chita
That's
knows.
right. We are in need of volunteers, Carmen, always, because we are a volunteer-led organization.
Right, and the work
Right.
again never stops, whether we're in
It doesn't.
disaster mode or
No,
not.
No, whether it's blue skies or gray skies, the Red Cross needs to be prepared to be
Definitely.
able to respond immediately. Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Chita, for
I
joining
love this
us.
car.
I love it.
Thanks
Alright.
to Triple J.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
very-
Honda.
Very sporty.
Yay.
But again, don't forget to go to the Red Ball.
Please,
It's
please
gonna be
don't
so much
forget to
fun.
mark your calendar. And if you haven't purchased your tickets yet, just give me a call at 472-6217 and I will deliver.
Perfect.
We do.
Thanks, Cheetahs.